Good evening, I'm Haley Wilkes.
I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks for being with us tonight. Our top story, a Manatee County elementary school teacher accused of child abuse for an incident that happened inside a classroom.
The school district, county, and state have all opened investigations, but still no official charges have been filed. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick joins us live from Bayshore Elementary School where the alleged abuse happened. And she has more. Jess.
Good evening. The school district has confirmed that this teacher has been removed from the school and from having any interactions with the children until these investigations are over tonight. Parents are wondering who this teacher is, but neither the sheriff's office nor the school district will reveal that information until the investigations are over. A Bayshore Elementary teacher is being accused of improper student contact. An incident report from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office says that a 7-year-old boy was playing under a classroom table when the teacher allegedly grabbed him by his backpack or hood of his jacket, pulled him out from under the table, and drug him around a corner. The report identifies a small red mark found on the child's neck.
Right now there's a pending investigation. Until that investigation is in fact completed, that teacher will be out of the classroom.
Teitelbaum, the school district's attorney, says the investigation could last anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months or longer, especially now that it's in the hands of the state attorney's office. Child Protective Services is also involved. Teitelbaum says that even if the state finds the teacher innocent of any criminal charges, that he could still face penalties from the district.
Should there not be an arrest in this matter, should there not be furtherance of any prosecution against the teacher, it does not mean the district's investigation is closed as unfounded.
The incident allegedly happened in front of other students and teachers. Parents and community members are taking to Facebook to question who this teacher is. Some are outraged. Others are standing up for the teacher, blaming the student's parents for his actions. Former educators in Manatee County call the alleged actions uncalled for.
As a teacher facing students at all levels day after day, it can become very frustrating, but you have to keep your cool.
Deputies were sent to the child's house to investigate after this incident was reported. Again, no arrests have been made at this time. In Manatee County, Jess Dowdrick, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Jess. A convicted felon is back in the Sarasota County Jail accused of holding a senior against her will for hours at a home in Northport. Anthony Snake Brigitzer was arrested in Lee County last night. Northport police say he fled there after attacking a 70-year-old woman at a home on Espanola Avenue in Northport. The victim had previously used this man for odd jobs around the house, and yesterday morning police say Brigitzer came to her house and wrapped his arms around the victim and used a stun gun on her. He then bound the woman to a chair with duct tape. Police say he later found a handgun and money he said he needed for drugs. After holding her captive for nearly 8 hours, Brigitzer let the woman go and drove off. He's charged with grand theft of a firearm, battery, and kidnapping. The victim is okay, and ABC 7's Rick Adams spoke to the victim just moments ago, and hear what she has to say about that attack tonight at 11.
Venice police are releasing traffic crash numbers from last year. In 2016, there were 510 crashes within the city. One was fatal. The most common cause of those accidents, careless driving. US 41 and East Venice Avenue had the highest number of accidents with 8, and the majority of the accidents happened between the hours of 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. The most common day of the week for the crash, Tuesday.
Just want to see how we need to deploy our resources, and it's all in an effort to keeping our community safe.
Police chief says they use the numbers from this study to boost patrols in accident-prone areas. Plus, they work with the city to make changes to intersections if necessary.
Drivers in Northport are being warned now about the dangers of the upcoming rainy season. The city recently put up 27 signs along Price Boulevard and in neighborhoods off of South Biscayne Drive, warning people that these areas are prone to flooding, especially during the summer rainy season. The city paid around $1,600 for these new signs, and officials now remind drivers, when in doubt, turn around.
Sarasota County taking another step in its long-term plan to extend the popular Legacy Trail. County commissioners committing nearly $9 million to extend the trail. The extension would run from the Culver House Nature Park just south of Clark Road to Payne Park in downtown Sarasota. The county must still complete the purchase right away from the railroad company in order to extend the trail. county also needs a lot more funding to do this project. It's expected to cost between $56 and $60 million, but once it's done, it will be pretty spectacular.
Probably will be worth
Get
it.
a lot of use.
Especially for days like we've had all
Yeah.
week. It's been really nice for getting outdoors, Bob.
Yeah, I know. I was on my bike today. Not bad at all out there. Temperatures starting to warm up. It was windy, a breezy day today as a result of a frontal system getting ready to move on in tomorrow. 79 right now. Lots of sunshine out there. Dew point's pretty high, 65. So look for a warm night tonight. Winds will stay pretty breezy through the evening too. Barometer has been falling, so that high pressure ridge that's been around is slowly being eroded by this frontal system that's approaching. Right now, most of the winds out of the west, southwest, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts as high as 20 at times this afternoon. You can see that at Englewood 11, at Rotunda at 10 miles an hour. Warm Mineral Springs 12-mile-an-hour wind out of the west southwest. Now the front is moving through parts of the panhandle of Florida, bringing some big storms there, some heavy rainfall. We are not anticipating that much rain, but we will get some. We'll see much more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. Hundreds of Floridians from across the state are at the Capitol today, showing support for State Attorney Aramis Ayala and her decision not to pursue the death penalty. Coming on buses from all corners of Florida, the crowd was mostly made up of minority advocacy groups and some faith groups. Several speakers told the crowd that Governor Rick Scott's decision to remove Ayala from the case of accused cop killer Markeith Lloyd was wrong. State Senator Randolph Bracy helped write a recent law that requires unanimous jury decisions in order to hand out the death penalty. Bracy feels Ayala has the right to run her office free of interference from others.
Whether you agree or not with the state attorney's Ayala's decision, she was independently elected by the Ninth Circuit, and she has the right to make that decision.
Following the rally, the groups delivered petitions to Governor Scott's office asking him to reconsider his decision to remove Ayala from the Lloyd case.
Florida House Republicans want to limit the number of years an appeals or Supreme Court justice can remain on the bench. It's a limit that does not exist now in any other state. The House approving a bill this week that would ask voters to set those limits. This is a priority of Speaker Richard Corcoran, who has said he wants to rein in the Supreme Court in what he calls judges who legislate from the bench. Democrats vigorously oppose the bill, saying it would discourage qualified people from applying for appellate judgeships and would force good judges to retire. It would need 60% approval from voters if it makes the 2018 ballot.
And ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern is here to tell us that one major index closes at an all-time high today. Richard.
That's right. And the market overall was very, very strong all day. The high of the day was plus 95 points, the low only minus 16. And frankly, we spent almost the entire day with very, very solid gains. The index that Haley is referring to is the NASDAQ, which certainly has a lot of technology stocks. And of course, we're almost at the end of the first quarter. The last day of the trading for the quarter is tomorrow. And there's lots of buying across the board at the end of the quarter for what we call window dressing for money managers and mutual funds. So let's take a look at the window dressing and see how it looks. There you see the Dow up 69 points, exactly 1/3 of 1% at 20,728.49. That on volume of 644 million shares. Drum roll for the NASDAQ, up 28/100ths, but that's a record, up almost 17 points at 5,914.34. That on volume of 1,507 million shares. And the S&P up almost exactly the same percentage as the other two, up 7 points for the day at 2,368.06. Well, perhaps many of you remember Clara Peller, who said for Wendy's, "Where's the beef?" Well, believe it or not, starting soon, the beef is going to be at McDonald's. Fresh beef. McDonald's today said that beginning middle of next year, it will have fresh beef for all of its quarter pounders. Up until now, the beef has been in patties that were frozen. But beginning next year, in fact, they will be fresh and grilled to order. McDonald's thinks certainly this is very important for their image and certainly the customers who are coming in to order quarter pounders. The reason it's a big deal is because it's the first time McDonald's has committed to this kind of position with beef. The only exceptions will be in Alaska, in Hawaii, and certain airports where it's going to be a problem to get fresh beef deliveries. But other than that, McDonald's going out, and ironically, it's Wendy's they're really going after because they advertise all the time that their beef is fresh.
They do.
And their competitors is frozen.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you also have some news on a couple of big companies named Amazon and Apple.
And the reason the NASDAQ keeps closing at these record numbers is Guess what? Amazon and Apple, every single day these stocks are closing at or near all-time highs, and they're bringing the rest of the stocks right along with them. So congratulations if you own either or both of those two stocks.
All right, Richard, thank you so much for the update.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News tonight, a massive outcry over the repeal of North Carolina's bathroom bill. Why businesses, entertainers, and sports leagues are still planning to boycott the state.
And ABC 7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, later, a game changer for couples hoping to get pregnant. How a new phone device may be able to, in the future, test a man's fertility in Health Smart.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
When you've been in banking for a long time, it's easy to forget what it was like in the beginning. It took a lot of work and dedication for 7 teachers to start our credit union and create a foundation that we continue to build on today. At Achieva, we never lose sight of the values that have defined us for over 75 years. We know you need mobile banking and lightning-fast solutions, but sometimes you might just need a helping hand. Any bank can make a transaction, but it takes a little more to make a difference. And that's good to know. Achieva, banking for good.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend.
Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
The human spirit's capacity to defy the odds, to push the envelope, is boundless.
North Carolina lawmakers repeal the state's bathroom bill. It leaves regulation of bathrooms solely in control of the state, meaning that cities and local governments cannot pass their own anti-discrimination bill.
But many groups are still criticizing this so-called compromise. ABC's Aaron Katursky explains why.
House Bill 142 passes its third reading.
North Carolina lawmakers ended a standoff over the state's controversial transgender bathroom law. The Senate repealed an earlier law known as HB 2 that required people to use public bathrooms that correspond to the sex on their birth certificate. But they prevented cities and towns from passing their own protections for lesbians, gays, transgender, and bisexual people.
It's our obligation to make sure that we reach out to everybody and ensure that they're included and that they're afforded all of the rights.
A few hours later, the North Carolina House okayed the measure.
I just signed House Bill 142. Today, we repealed House Bill 2, and we begin to end discrimination.
There's considerable opposition to the bill from conservatives who think they were railroaded to support it in order to stop an NCAA boycott of the state over the original bathroom bill.
Basketball is important to North Carolina. Nobody's going to deny that. But we've given in to threats, and I don't see any other way to give this. We've been threatened as a state, and we took the Cowards Act, and we're backing down at this point.
This week, the NCAA will decide on tournament locations through the spring of 2022, and the college athletics governing body has said no tournaments would be awarded to North Carolina unless the bathroom bill was changed. It remains to be seen if the NCAA will accept the compromise. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Those dangerous and deadly springtime supercells that have wreaked havoc in much of Texas and Oklahoma yesterday are now moving east.
Hey, look what I see.
In New Orleans this morning, people catching images of a water spout over Lake Pontchartrain while neighborhoods deal with flooded roads and rising water. In Memphis, homeowners woke up to downed trees and electrical workers cutting back branches, working to clear it all out. While back in Texas, cleanup across the state pushes on. Wrecked homes, tossed cars, debris scattered everywhere after multiple tornadoes tore through there. And in Fort Worth, Texas, one community losing more than just possessions. 2 children, brothers, died after being electrocuted by downed power lines. So it has been a deadly weather spree. That thing is kind of taking its time as it moves east.
Yeah, it's a cutoff low, so it doesn't move fast. And we are looking at the storms now well east of Louisiana and Mississippi. Now they're moving into portions of Alabama and the Florida Panhandle. But the news is no severe weather warnings, no tornado watches like we saw earlier with the storms that moved on through the deep south. Here's what's going on with our beautiful weather here. Casey Key webcam showing generally fair conditions across the area. It's been a little bit breezy for boaters this afternoon. Winds have been picking up out of the south and southwest at 10 to 15 knots, gusting as high as 20 at times. And we are looking at some higher surf along the coastline as a result of that. We will see this frontal system, though, approach our area, and it will bring an increase in cloudiness, a chance for showers, and an isolated chance for a few thunderstorms as we move through Friday. Now, it clears out, though, just in time for the weekend as high pressure will build in behind it quickly. But the good news is, if you're looking at the drought situation, more rain is in the forecast for next week. You'll see that in the 7-day forecast. Well, the weather satellite and radar combination showing the progression of this system. As I mentioned, no severe weather this afternoon with this line. There's a chance it could be, but right now, not nearly as strong of a chance as we saw in Texas and Louisiana, as well as into lower Mississippi Valley earlier. All the storms have cleared Louisiana, Mississippi, but now they're moving through the panhandle of Florida and out into the Gulf of Mexico. Currently, we have 79 degrees, sunshine, and the dew point is at 65, the humidity at 62%. Winds are out of the south-southwest, pretty brisk at 13 miles an hour, and the pressure 29.93 inches. And that is slowly moving down as a result of this frontal system approaching. Temperatures along the coast into the 70s now, and places like Holmes Beach and Cortez, as well as Whitney Beach and Longboat Key. You move away from the water, it's 80 in Bradenton, 80 in Rosedale, Waterleaf at 82, and Kensington Park in the low 80s there, 80 degrees, and Southgate at 80, and now it is into the 80s in Northport, Port Charlotte, and Plantation, Inglewood at 77 degrees. So temperatures a little bit cooler right along the coastline because of that west to southwest wind. The winds will pick up tomorrow and stay rather brisk out of the south and southwest. You'll notice as the front approaches, those winds will still stay out of the west and southwest. So we're not going to cool down real quickly. In fact, temperatures will just be a few degrees cooler tomorrow as a result of the increased cloud cover and the rain that will be around scattered about. Not everyone's going to get the showers, and although this hourly forecast is showing showers around, there could be an occasional thunderstorm. We are looking for high temperatures to be into the upper 70s, so around average or slightly below it due to the increased cloud cover. The rain chances aren't all that high at 40%, and not everyone's going to get the rainfall, but we will see some showers move through, as you see with this RPM forecast model showing some clouds and showers moving through, but then clearing out just in time for the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. Looks to be pretty good with lots of sunshine and temperatures staying relatively mild. We'll still see highs right around 80 degrees on both days. The rainfall forecast, we're not calling for a lot of rainfall with this system, but we will see a few showers moving on in as we move after sunrise tomorrow. The 1/4 of an inch, 1/10 of an inch, not out of the question. We're not going to see excessive amounts. We're not going to see up to 1 inch or 2 inch totals, but we will see some beneficial rains out of this system. And as far as the overall picture goes, this front is slowly sliding off to the east, and as I said, will be in position tomorrow. The forecast for boaters, not the best. Winds will be out of the south at 15 knots. There'll be a moderate chop out there. Seas running 2 to 3 feet, and the water temperature is really warmed up. 76. Beaches will see a high of 77 with occasional sunshine throughout the day, but more clouds than sun. Low tide upcoming 10:11 and another low tide at 9:32 tomorrow morning. So tonight looks good, partly cloudy, breezy and warm, 68 for your low. South winds staying strong, and then tomorrow the front moves in, mostly cloudy, scattered showers throughout the day, a high of 78, and south winds breezy, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Saturday looks good, and then Sunday back into the mid-80s we go. And then there's that rain chance I mentioned. Tuesday, a pretty good chance at some showers. And then again on Thursday, the rain chance at 40%. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, there's some sort of obstruction on I-75 in the northbound lanes at the Bee Ridge Road exit. It is tying up a lot of traffic at this hour, which is pretty typical for this time of day, but it is tying up traffic all the way from Clark Road north to past Fruitville Road. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, a new study in the journal JAMA Psychiatry paints a clearer picture of how heroin use patterns have changed since 2001. Since then, the number of people who have used heroin has increased almost 5-fold, and the number of people who abuse heroin has approximately tripled. The greatest increases have occurred among white males. Heroin use also increased significantly among those with a high school education or less, as well as those who lived at less than 100% of the federal poverty line. The study also confirmed that many heroin users start by using prescription opioids. Scientists say they have discovered a smartphone. They've developed a smartphone accessory that works with an app and the phone's camera to measure a man's fertility. With this new technology, an external accessory to the phone analyzes a sperm sample. It could make testing as easy as a home pregnancy test and might cost as little as $50. The new technology is still a few years away, but the team behind it hopes it will encourage men to do more testing if they're experiencing infertility, especially since infertility may be a sore spot for some men. This study was led by Brigham and Women's Hospital and Harvard Medical School. Long-distance running can be good for your body in many ways. It lowers your risk of cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. But there are some risks, including injury, a temporarily weakened immune system, and according to a new study, acute kidney injury. The study published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases showed marathon runners can develop short-term kidney injury during a race, but the kidneys repair themselves within about 2 days. No long-term kidney damage was seen in runners who had been doing marathons for years. The study also heightens the awareness, though, about runners taking NSAIDs such as ibuprofen. Those medications can impact the kidneys, and that could be more pronounced with long-distance running. Coming up, a very resourceful great-grandmother, how one woman survived 5 days trapped in a car in the snowy mountains. Plus, an astronaut who's gone where no woman has gone before, but the record-setting spacewalk had a bit of a hiccup. Those stories straight ahead.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
The agents at SWC would like to show you pictures of all the homes that they've sold quickly for their clients. But they're just too many to show. Contact SWC today and find out for yourself. We just market your home better.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call. Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family. Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
A South Carolina school bus driver is being called a hero after officials say she saved several children from being hit by a reckless driver.
Video recorded from that bus shows the driver zooming by the bus in just a matter of seconds. Marilyn Masters saw the kids about to cross the street off to the left and warned them about what they could not see, that car speeding past the bus. Masters says that's why she makes sure to check and then recheck the mirrors for people who are in a hurry.
I've got my kids holding them, and I've had 2 or 3 cars just go through, because you actually are taking care of human beings. People are trusting you to take care of their loved one, and that's serious.
The Greenville County School District posted the bus incident pictures on its Facebook page, praising Masters for her actions.
An 85-year-old great-grandmother is sharing her story about how she survived for 5 days in a car stranded in Colorado's snowy mountains. Ruby Stein and her car, Nikki, took a trip to visit her granddaughter. On the way home, she took her cat. That makes more sense. At first, I thought her car was named Nikki. Okay, I get it now. Instead of going to the interstate, she drove 20 miles deep into the mountains and got stuck at the end of a muddy dirt road. Her cell phone did not have a signal. Her car battery soon died, drained by the flashing lights she hoped would bring her some help. But Stein didn't panic. She fashioned a makeshift blanket from the clothes she had in her car. She also melted snow on the dashboard for water. And then she rationed sweet rolls and Rice Krispie treats to 2 bites a day. After 5 days of being trapped in her car, Stein had almost given up when she saw 2 hikers walking toward her.
We stopped and peeked in, since the car door was open, and asked if, is everybody okay? Is anybody in there?
I was never so glad to see anybody in my life, because I've always been a strong woman, a strong person. I believe in whatever happens, happens for a reason.
The couple had not planned to be hiking there that day, but the sheriff's office says these Good Samaritans saved Ruby's life. And the cat, of course. And speaking of amazing women, the world's oldest and most experienced space woman has set another record. NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson floated on her 8th spacewalk today, 250 miles up the International Space Station. That's the most spacewalks ever performed by a woman. Halfway through the walk, the 57-year-old surpassed the current record for women of 50 hours and 40 minutes of total spacewalking time. But there was a mishap during the walk. The astronauts lost an important piece of shielding needed to protect the space station. The cloth bundle floated away, which was reported to Mission Control. But it doesn't sound like it was anything too serious, so congrats to her.
She is a pioneer, setting records that may not be broken for a while.
Yes, she is. Well, still to come on your Suncoast News, $250,000 of your taxpayer money for a new shuttle service.
Up next, if people in Sarasota think spending that much money is necessary and is really needed. Plus, a minister fined over a sandcastle, why the family got into trouble with the law while spending the day at a Florida beach.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Fun for the whole family. The 25th Annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, benefiting special athletes of Sarasota County. Fossil vendors, arts and crafts, food, children's games, and live entertainment. With headliners, the Gator Creek Band on Friday night, Rockin' Rogues, Kim Betts, Glass Onion, Kettle of Fish, Paisley Craze, and the Boogeymen. Admission $4. Children 12 and under free. Parking is free. The annual Venice Shark's Tooth Festival, April 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Venice Airport Festival grounds.
There's a whole new way to bank at Achieva Credit Union with Achieva Checking Plus. Get new unique features like full ID theft protection and online shopping rewards. Plus, it's an interest-bearing account, so you have a little extra for what really matters. Achieva Checking Plus isn't just an account for your money, it's for your life, including cell phone insurance. And that's good to know. Discover the plus at achievacu.com. Achieva, banking for good. Achieva Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
The Lax coming to the White Buffalo Saloon April 1st. Visit the WBSaloon.com.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual international festival of chamber music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.